Anyanga Wagoko in the hizzle for shizzle. How you doing? I hope you are healthy, wealthy, and free, and loving your life. And better yet now, I mean, it's so hot. Being all up in your feelings and all wound up is not the best way to be at this point. I mean, you need to be letting things go. That's just how I feel. And today I decided to take an off day. It wasn't really an off day, so I'm still working on the concept of it. But this is something that I learned from Lifebook. It was mentioned by John Butcher. Lifebook, remember, is by John and Missy Butcher in collaboration with Mind Valley, Vishen Lahiani. Does that ring a bell? I hope it does. And what they say is that even the busiest people need to take time off. The most successful people need to take time off. So even if you've been pushing yourself day in, day out, and you know you're a workaholic or you're just really passionate, you need a day to just step back and completely let things go, especially in a situation where you're probably having or dealing with something very intense or a very intense project, you know, something of the sort. Even during those moments, just to make sure that you're not overworking, because there are times when you tend to belabor the same thing, and it helps a bit if you take a step back, take a break from it, and come back feeling a little fresh with a different point of view, you know, a different perspective. And what he says, for example, in terms of when you have a problem, when you're having this issue that you're really trying to solve, and you've really been working on it and trying to find a solution, and it doesn't seem to be getting there, it kind of helps to, at some point, put down everything that you think you know about it, that you've put into it, write it down, or, you know, document it in some way, and then completely clear your mind and let it go. Completely empty. Don't even think about it. Just let your mind go, and, you know, just let it be. Let your mind completely empty itself of that particular notion, that thing that you're trying to deal with or sort out. And in a day, or even if it's a few hours, then come back from a different perspective, from a fresh point of view, and see if you get maybe a different solution. Even sometimes happens. Sorry, everybody's riding, everybody's got their sports cars and convertibles out, you know, so summertime, yo. So yeah, that's what he says, that you really need to take a break sometimes. And he says that most successful people, he's in this very elite mastermind group, and he gave us little tidbits. And he says that the most important thing that they say is to rest. And for example, he says that they have off days when you completely shut yourself out of everything. No phone, no internet, no colleagues, no conversations about work or about a project. You just leave, you know, you block it out. So whether it means that you're going to travel somewhere else, turn off your phone, you know, leave the area or whatever it is, but just give yourself that time to not even care about that stuff. And then something else that he talks about is, that's an off day, and then the second one is a focus day. So if there is a project that needs to get done, then you pick this one day when that's all you work on in that day. So you wake up and your mind is set on doing that one project and nothing else. Do that one project and nothing else. And I'll just add on one productivity tip, because sometimes the things that are always on our mind are things that you're trying to let your mind remind you, you know, like you're reminding your mind to remind you to do something in the future. And the one trick to this is to just write things down, so that even when you think about it again, when it pops up in your mind, then you know, nah, that's sorted. I'm supposed to deal with this at this time in the future, not now, so I don't have to think about it, and you can go back to focusing on what you do need to do. So just writing things down is really, it really eases things up, even if it's jotting it down on your phone. Sort of typing it down, typing it into your phone, your notes or something like that. One of the tools that we were taught during a short productivity course on Mind Value was tasks. So Google has this tiny app with this feature called tasks, where you could just put in a task, put in tasks as a reminder. So when the time comes, you can put in a time or whatever. When the time comes, then it reminds you, it pops up, so you know that you have to do it. But secondly, you can cross it out. You know that feeling that you get of it's done. It ticks, and then it disappears. It's just like gone. And that's a pretty good feature, and it really helps. It helps quite a bit, right? And I'd just like to add on one more thing. There's a book that I'm reading, An Organized Mind. I forget who the author is. And one thing that he talks about in the very beginning is the fact that the mind has limited capacity in terms of concentration, in terms of decision making. And he says there's a limited number of decisions that the mind can make consciously before it just gets fatigued, right? So, for example, when you start your day very early in the morning and you're already on Instagram or whatever, and you're already seeing people's posts, or you're already checking your emails and realizing, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do that. If that's the first thing that you're doing early on in the morning, before you take care of yourself, before you meditate, or before you work out, then your mind very early on in the day, your brain very early on in the day gets fatigued. And once you're tired, then, as you get through to mid-morning, afternoon, then you're completely depleted, right? So it's important to take those first few hours in the day to really sharpen. They say you need to sharpen the saw before you want to cut down that tree. Otherwise, you're basically wasting time and energy. So take the first hour or two of the day to sharpen your mind, sharpen your body. Prepare yourself for the day that's ahead of you by taking care of you first of all. And then after that, then you can take care of everybody else, right? Because if you're not in the right state, if you're not in the right mentality, the right vibration, the right positivity, which is all what we all need to be in, then nothing else will go as well as it should be. You need to take time to prepare to take on the day, right? So I was having my off day today. It wasn't completely an off day because I still did a little bit of work. But there was quite a bit of leisure. I took one break off from my workout, and I'm feeling pretty good. So I think it's actually a good thing to be able to refresh yourself. I hope you do this too. If you have any more suggestions or insights or comments, let me know. Ciao.